sont... Attends.
Oh,
Attends. Non.
Don't be a baby.
Non.
Allez.
Fucking little. It's not funny.
Sorry.
My trip to Egypt was amazing and full of moments that made me reflect. After now a month since I'm back, I can see better what all the events led me to and what to think about them. I had time to collect my thoughts and now it's time to deliver them. I'll be touching one or a few aspects in each vlog, so there's the first one. Let's start by the fact that being an artist makes these destinations super exciting because of the richness of art and history of Egypt. I had to make sure I bring the essential tools for me to work, but not too much in order to be open to use different tools and approaches to what I create. So what did I bring with me? I brought 2 big sketchbooks for planning ideas and series of works because of the bigger pages, 1 small sketchbook for drawing and just play, and a pocket sketchbook for when I'm going around. The others is mostly for when I'm staying at a proper desk. I brought with me a bunch of watercolors, papers, and also color papers with colors that I don't often use, just so that I have them in case I want to do single artworks. I had also my watercolor set and all my inks and pen that are not all showing in this part of the video.
Water, you see that one? So fucking cute. Whole ass nude. And the mom is being a mama. I love that she's playing with them too. There's one in the back over there. Should I say?
The idea is to try to go lighter with the stuff that I bring each time I travel. I want to get to the point I bring watercolors and the small sketchbook to really be minimal and more intentional with my sketches, but since this was a long trip, what I brought was just enough. Traveling to a new place sometimes doesn't allow you to have a stable timeline, when you know when you will be able to work or not, because plans may change throughout the trip. So being open to just enjoying my time and focus on working only when I knew I could was something I was adjusting myself to. I had a lot of fun. If this was a food channel, I would have recorded all the good food I had. I'm not really mindful to be recording all the time, but Bobo got full, harissa, balaki, kebda, koshari, shawarma, tamea, basbousa, molokhia, and my favorite so far, fitir. I apologize for all the mispronunciation. I know how I would feel if I ever heard someone saying mozzarella instead of mozzarella. Food and music are very important in a culture. Just like new food, my ears experience the mainstream Egyptian music, but also the sounds of the city. The Islamic prayers replace the bells I usually have in Rome, making inevitably my insomnia trigger. I had to get used to, especially when I was in Cairo, but that time awake was spent sketching and planning works I wanted to do when I would have more time to execute them. I also thought about how often people are not aware about the time artists spent not working on a piece but preparing themselves to be in that creative state. especially for me after coming for a long period where I wasn't drawing at all right before this trip. I did make a few pieces when I was there, but I knew I was going to make more elaborated works when I was going to be back. In Egypt, I was focusing mainly on exploring Islamic art, not Egyptian art, but Islamic art, since its rich history combines different cultures. As well as taking pictures, I was able to borrow a few books from where I took inspiration. Egyptian film, posters, Islamic art, and one about hotels in Egypt. I am mainly a figurative artist that does mostly portraits and figures, but having a bit of architecture in my practice is a good way to step out of my comfort zone and get something different from my usual. If you are waiting for the touristy parts, it will come much later in these episodes because I wanted a different experience than what's mainstream. The idea was to give me a few weeks for me to grasp a bit of my surroundings and decide what art tools I would have to add to my options. Surprisingly, the cost of art materials are relatively cheaper in Egypt compared to Italy. I am definitely coming back with an empty luggage just to stack some and, of course, to get more fatir. "42 days can't be told in just one episode. So for this first one, I want to leave you with these thoughts. In a new environment, you should be able to expose yourself to new things and try to experience your surrounding with as many of your senses as possible. Letting go of your habits and adapting may not seem easy at first, but the more you do it, the more you try, the more you will get better at it. Especially because it allows you to not stress over the things you can't control, and in a new environment that screams survival. Observe with your eyes and ears if you are more like a photographer and a videographer, and explore with your hands if you are an artist like me who draws. Starting to think about the different approaches you can possibly take with your work can definitely help you grow. I felt like I wanted to be able to try things and have more fun between important pieces and small pieces later on. Also, that I should try to share the process more, especially when the pieces is not finalized. Because at the end of the day, everyone experiences your journey differently, but also mainly through you, the artist, in the making of your work. And that is as valuable as the reward of the final piece.
Holding it too?